Hello, nuclear enthusiasts, and welcome back. I am Leonidas. This is Nuclearis. We're running version 2.0. I've been saying 2.2 this whole time. I should be saying 2.0, patch 177. And today, my goal is to do a startup and speak at a normal rate of speech. I've been doing a number of these videos, and I tend to speak pretty quickly, and I think it is difficult for some to follow along. So in this video, I will go through the startup steps without many explanations. I can do another video of that later, but this is just going to be the startup steps, and I'm going to try and speak at a normal rate of speech that everybody hopefully can easily hear and understand. So let's get going. We will go with, like I said, it doesn't matter. We're going to go normal. We're going to turn off the initial help and activate controls. We'll do those ourselves. We do want the plant ready to start so we don't have to buy everything. And let's get rolling. Thank you for the feedback to those who reached out and gave me the feedback of, hey, it's hard to understand and follow along when you speak that quickly. So I do take feedback, and even if it's making a video for one person to help them out, I'm all for it. So we'll go through the steps, the startup steps to get through all the yellow text on the left. Right click, Alt, Tab for tablet, G for Geiger counter, T for time, and H for help screen. Again, this is patch 177, so it will look a little bit different. The main differences between this one and patch 176 have to do over here at the steam generator. Not only visually and interactively, but with some of the calculations. So keep that in mind. So I'm just going to go through a normal startup using my personal high pressure startup. And then at the end, I will, for the first time, attempt what I would call standard startup, not using the high pressure startup that I developed from one of the community helper suggestions. So let's start by activating our panels. Activate here, pressurizer, and we will, actually I'm going to use my startup list for this, or my checklist, excuse me, that I will include in the description. Generators and manual, pressurizer thermostat on, pressurizer heater on. We're going to jump over, actually we'll do the rest of the consoles before we keep going. There have been a lot of questions and concerns with things working differently with this 177 patch compared to the 176, but I have not had any problems, especially with using this method. So hopefully that's, I don't know how I'm doing it differently than other people, but I haven't had any problems. I find it actually simpler, less complex than the other one. So, okay, we just turned our condenser vacuum on, right? Because we need that vacuum pull the steam through. Verify bypass is set to 0. Well, I guess we should turn it on first. Bypass is 0. Correct. Verify MSCV set to, we're going to go 0 in my case. And we will switch operating mode to normal.
New operating mode established. Nominal mode.
We will, whoops, did not mean to click that. Randomly clicking things. We will load our fuel. Let's see what's next. Primary, so we'll wait for this to come up. I'm going to go ahead and speed warp. And we're back. We are at 150 bar on our pressure, or at or above. So now we're going to go primary pump on. And we will set to 15. Oops, that may be too far. There we go.
The reactor core coolant has started to circulate.
We'll set our condenser on. We're actually going to put it to Let's go to 2. Whoops. We'll turn our vacuum off. And we are ready to go for this alternate startup. So I will go ahead and pull the rods. In this case, I think I pulled them to 93 is where I wanted them. I like to run my reactor around 300 degrees Celsius. We'll get the music I have turned off. We're going to go triple speed, and what we're watching for now, I went back to single speed. What we're watching for in this alternative startup, let the animation go. Man, that seems really loud.
Critical mass,
doesn't that seem
and its
loud?
status has changed to reactive.
Or is it my headset? I think it's my headphones. Hopefully it's not too loud for you all. Okay, so what we're waiting for is this temperature to climb to 100. Once it does that, we're all about the pressure. That's what we're... Oh, we should have requested startup from the city. Do that now. And normally I'd probably wait till the 10 o'clock hour because this takes so long to start up, but I suppose it doesn't make that big of a difference. We are above 100, so our pressure is increasing. We're waiting for this to get to 60 until we take our next steps, and then we're essentially done. I will cut away and come back when it's at 60. Okay, we're at 50, so we'll go MSCV to 5. We will turn this on and put this, let's hit slow for 25. We're going to see a drop in our pressure, a drop in our temperature here shortly, I believe. And then we should get a startup from our turbine. In a little bit. There it goes. Torque is increasing. We want to keep this above 2.5. Otherwise, that's one of the stall triggers. And now we wait until this gets to 3,000. Oh, I forgot my resistor bank. Is that not on my... It is. I skipped that number 7 on my checklist. That's what I get. Okay, so I will cut away and come back when this gets closer to 3,000. Welcome back, everybody. I have not touched anything. We're nearing that 3,000 mark. I'll slow down the signal speed for this. I have not touched our secondary coolant speed, not touched our main steam control valve speed or percentage. Our condenser is still at 1. You can see it's well within the green there. Our pressure is still all in the green here. Our temperature did climb up to, I think, 328 before it came back down, which is a little higher, so I might try 93.5 next time, maybe 94. Otherwise, it's fine, but I have not touched anything. This startup is stable, normal. It's no problem at all. I've had no issues with it. I did forget the resistor bank. Here we are. We're going to do the Synchroscope. We wait for it to stop. It will get up to 3052. That's just where it is. But once it's above 3050, you can start using these buttons. If you hold Alt, it gives you the pointer. If you hold Shift along with it, it skips the animation so you can click them faster. Otherwise, it does this. And you got to wait for the hand each time. So I like that a little bit better. So I'm actually going to raise it to bring it back around. And at the top in the green. Green, 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 green. Perfect. We close. Keep in mind you will not get the Synchroscope spinning if you forget to request startup from the city, and if you are not within, or at least after this time of startup. Note that so we're going to miss it for this hour. I probably should have waited till 10 o'clock to request it. When you request it, it's always the following hour. If you request it now at 11:28, you'll get the approval to start up at 12. If you request it at 10:50, I think it comes in at about 10:59 to start for the next hour, but any later than that, it'll spill over, and you'll have to wait till the following hour. So here we go. Our reactor is up and running. It is stable. It is ready to just rock and roll. To get this, what I'm delivering down closer to the demand, I'll show you those steps now, even though it's not part of the startup. So what I would begin by doing is, these should always stay kind of in concert, in lockstep. Imagine there's a decimal place here. This should be half of that number if you imagine the decimal place here. So if I'm going to drop this by 5, I need to drop this by 1, which is what I'll do now. So I'll drop this, whoops, by 5, drop this by 1. Again, the flow speed here for your secondary coolant pump pertains to the coolant inlet. It'll fall to meet that number. It'll be kind of double this number. Your steam outlet, for the most part, matches this here at 10 times. And coolant evaporated is kind of the variable. It's more of a measure. So we bring that down. Hasn't lowered us very much. We're going to reduce this to 10. That'll bring it down a little further. This number coming up also increases our efficiency a bit, but in this case I think I can get it down to 11. I will. So actually I'm gonna go triple speed. I don't like making a lot of big jumps or big changes at once. You have to give the system time to stabilize, and if you want to watch the trends, because sometimes with these single units it's hard, or in 1,000 watt increments, it's hard to follow. I use my amps, and they do jump, but after watching it on triple speed, you can get kind of a mental average of where it's trending. So this is trending downward still, so this number's falling. But if I want to go a little faster, I'll do 1 speed. Here I'll go 15. Whoops, a little buggy. And 3, and that should get me about where I want to be. And it should happen relatively quickly. There you go. So you can play with it, you can fiddle with it, try and see how different combinations work for you. There are literally hundreds of combinations between condenser, MSCV, secondary coolant pump, bypass, which I almost never use, your primary coolant speed, your reactor core, and we're not even using chemicals. So that's a whole other ballgame. So hopefully this has been a good walkthrough for a startup. Again, I was going to tag it on the end of this video. I'll just make a second one where I do kind of the normal-ish, non-high pressure, I call it high pressure, but a non-high pressure startup where you're watching the temperature more than focusing on the pressure. So again, hopefully this has been helpful. Thanks for stopping by. Please leave comments, feedback on what's working, what's not, what you'd like to see, and all of that. And enjoy Nuclearis.